Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to do parkour for beginners, intermediate players, and masters at parkour. In this video, I'll be showing you a demonstration and explanation of parkour basics. As well, I'll be showing you how to do every single one of these jumps. You may need to pause to view the full list of what I'll be teaching. At the end of the video, I'll be doing a parkour run, with every jump shown throughout the guide. If you do enjoy this video, or it helps you learn how to do parkour, please consider subscribing or sharing my video with others struggling with parkour, as these tutorials take hours to make and build, so it is highly appreciated. First, let's talk about the extreme basics for parkour. When doing parkour, you'll need to learn how to sprint. There are two ways to sprint on PC, either pressing the W key twice, or your specific key for sprint. For myself, that key is control. Both these methods are useful for doing different jumps, which I'll be going over in the video. Now let's start with the basics. Momentum and how to keep momentum. Momentum is important to keep your balance. If you keep momentum going, 4-block and 3-block jumps will be much easier for you. If you have momentum, it's extremely convenient when doing long parkour maps with little to no checkpoints, as it will increase your chances of success. So let's get started with 4-block jumps. 4-block jumps are simply long gaps that you need to get yourself over. And simply, the only way to do this is through momentum. I recommend shifting to the back right of a 3-block structure, then using momentum to jump to the top left, and then get onto the 4-block jump. It's as simple as this. It's as easy as that. Jumps such as this one, I find people struggle with quite a lot. You can use momentum just like the other ones, whereas if you start back here and then sprint to the next one, you can easily make it to the next jump without struggling. I find people often have trouble with water jumps as well. You simply need to go up the wall, and then once you go up the wall, you'll be able to jump for a small amount of time, letting you go onto the ladder. Head jumps are simply just jumps with smaller blocks. Use the same strategy in the same form of using the heads as normal blocks. Enchanting tables, solar panels, and cakes can all be used as the same thing, a slightly smaller block than a normal block, which allows you to use it as a stair, or something slightly lower than a normal block. They all have the same mechanics, but solar panels are a bit more like slabs. They can all be used in the same way. If you get stuck on cakes, then what you can do is you can shift to the edge if there's something blocking your way, then you can go around and sprint to the next block. They have the same mechanics as the enchanting table and solar panels. Brewing stands are important. They're kind of like 2 blocks in one. In parkour, you jump to the bottom and then you can jump up on top of it. It's useful in parkour maps where you get stuck and don't know what to do. If you didn't know this, it's highly important that you do, as most maps will include brewing stands of some sort. Some parkours will have chairs or minecarts of some sort that you can jump into. It's important to know how to do these jumps, as many parkours, such as in servers like Manicube, Hypixel, and Minecarts will all have parkours such as this one, as you see right here. Simply all you need to do is jump and then click on the minecart, and you'll be able to make it through the jump. Some parkours will have secrets such as this one, where you can climb up the water to get to a secret area, such as this area up here. Snow has the same mechanics as the solar panel, the enchanting table, and the cake. They can be used as slightly higher steps for you to go up things. Some parkours will have these, and it's just kinda neat to know about them. Cactuses are much like cakes. When you're on a cactus, you want to shift on the edges, like so, and move around the cactus so you can get over to here. Once you're over here, you may ask yourself, well, how do I sprint? How do I jump to that next one? To get to the next jump, you want to use your sprint key. You simply jump, then let go of shift. Then rinse and repeat, for as many of these as there are. When you have ladders, what you want to do, always shift so that you don't fall into the void. Then you want to use your sprint key to jump to the next one, like so. Then you can get through the parkour with ease. But if you get good enough at that, you can use momentum to get through the parkour. Combined with momentum, this can be a very useful trick for long parkours with little to no checkpoints. Iron bars and glass have the same mechanics. Simply, when put like this, what you'll want to do, as I see most people struggle with these ones, is you'll want to aim so that you're positioned with the glass. When the glass is facing down, I go straight. When the glass is facing right, simply go right. And you'll easily be able to do these now. It's the same with iron bars. Doors. If you haven't seen these before, what you do with doors is when they're in a position such as this, you may be confused, you may not know what to do. Simply close the door while you're on the edge of the door, jump up, and then you repeat this strategy to get up onto the next one. Most parkours will have doors like this, and it's important that you know how to utilize them to your advantage. Chests are used like cakes and cactuses. They have the same controls. Shift to the edge, move to the right, and then toggle sprint. It's as simple as that. Cocoa beans are surprisingly advanced. I personally didn't know this strategy until a few weeks ago. You can use them as ladders to get up jungle wood like so. I know a lot of people struggle with ladders and vines, but once you get used to them, put simply, they're very easy to do. It's just a matter of practice and getting used to them. You may see jumps like this and not know what to do. When jumping, you want to sprint and jump onto the edge, and then shift up the ladder, like so. It's important whenever you hit a ladder to shift on it, otherwise you may fall down or fall into the void. Then for ladders like this, you just simply move across them like so. Oftentimes there will be a fence in front of these ladders, and put simply, you can still do it. You just need to shift around the ladder and then go to the other side. Vines are basically the same. They almost have the same mechanics as ladders, except you can't get on top of them. It's important to note that when you're doing parkour. I often see people struggling with these jumps, but they're actually quite simple. You just shift to the edge, to the right edge in this case. Sometimes it'll be the left, but it's just mirrored when you do the opposite. What you do is you shift to the edge, let go of shift once you're on the edge. You don't have to sprint, but if you like to, you can sprint, and you just jump. Jump, aim right, and then move left, like so. And then it just becomes muscle memory. It's not very hard after that point. You can do them hundreds of times, thousands of times. Once you get the hang of it, it's very easy. I often see people struggling on these jumps too. They're a bit different, but they're one higher than the normal ones. What you want to do here is, once again, like that one, shift to the right edge, or if it's on the left, shift to the left edge in that case. Then this one, you definitely want to sprint, aim right, go left, and shift, like so. If you get the hang of it, it'll be quite easy, and you can just keep repeating that strategy until you get the hang of it. In parkour, sometimes you'll see slimes everywhere. What slimes are, is they're basically a trampoline. You want to make sure not to press space on slime, as usually that won't work to get onto the other side if you're going from a high jump, such as that one over there, as you can see. It's important to utilize these so that you will be able to finish parkours without any trouble. When you see slimes such as these, you want to ignore what I said last time. It's put simply here, you can't do that. Shift to the edge, sprint, and then jump to the next one, like so. You can utilize momentum with these, or you cannot. It really doesn't matter. It's up to how you feel and how you like to do parkour. You can create your own strategies as you learn parkour, such as how I've done. I often see people struggle with soul sand, and I must say, they're quite easy once you get used to them. Simply you shift to the edge if it's a far jump, like that one. You sprint, and then repeat. If you get good enough at them, what you can do is you can keep the momentum going throughout it. If you ever see glass under soul sand, don't be mistaken. These are not the same thing. If you have glass under soul sand, it'll make you twice as slow. What you'll want to do, you'll want to try and jump to the edge when you're in this position. Then, from there, what you want to do is you'll want to sprint and jump to the next block. It's like soul sand, but a bit slower. If you didn't already know this, ice is twice as fast as normal blocks, especially packed ice, I find. When doing these jumps, you'll want to keep the momentum going as much as you can, but it's not as important with normal blocks, as these have a lot more speed, and you can easily fall into the void or fail if you try and keep the momentum going throughout the whole thing. It's just not possible. With ice, you can go so fast that you can make very far block jumps, if you use it correctly. Sometimes you'll see fence on top of ice, and put simply, you can just avoid the fences and go around them. Some servers will have slime that boost you way up into the sky. It's important to know about these when doing parkour. A lot of big servers such as Hypixel and Manicube will have these blocks in them. It's important to utilize them and know how they work. Let's go over Piston parkour. Piston parkour is a bit different than normal parkour. They'll usually involve redstone or some sort of lever, like so. You'll be able to make it across parts where you normally wouldn't by using the levers to your advantage, like so. Just that simple, and these are quite fun, I find. I highly recommend you try out one of these sometime, as they are quite enjoyable. Now let's start with Neos. If you don't know what Neos are, basically what they are is they're usually some sort of block in your way that you have to jump around. They can vary from sizes, shapes, and materials. As you can see over here, we have a fence. To do a one block Neo, start back here if you have the option. What you want to do is you want to sprint to this part, go around like so, as you can see my cursor, and then onto the left side. So let's repeat. Jump here, go to the right, and aim to the left. I'll show you a demonstration. Just like so. If you have trouble doing that, this is a bit harder method. But it's also quite easy, as it's only one block. Face the right, sprint, and then go to the left. It's quite easy, I must say. Glass is the same thing, except you can get closer with these ones. You use the same strategy as before, except you have more space now, as the void you have to get over is extremely smaller. It's quite nice. This is a joke. I've never seen this once in Parkour, but I thought I'd add it because why not? Fence Neos are rare. You don't see them often. They're really easy to get open. You can even shift over them in some cases. Over here we'll have what you can call a two block Neo. Now for these, you can't start up here and then go to the right and left, like the one block Neo. It doesn't work here. You have to strictly go 3 blocks back at least, shift, sprint to there, go to the right, go slightly to the right, and then slightly to the left to get onto the block. It'll look something like this if you can do it right. Just like that. Now, if you ever run into these guys, these are definitely one of the hardest jumps in all of Parkour, I have to say. This is what you call a 3 block Neo. You have to get around 3 blocks, and like the 2 block Neo, you have the same strategy, except you need to hug closer to the wall to get onto the block over there. You can only do this from 3 blocks away. You want to sprint, jump to that, hug the left wall, and then aim to the left slightly. If you can do it right, I'll show you how it looks. Done just like that. May take a few tries, but it's definitely the hardest jump in all of Parkour. I don't recommend doing this one for beginners, as it's extremely hard to nail. If you can do it right, it'll look something like that. I hope this helped you. The 3 block fence Neo is a lot easier than the 3 block Neo, as you don't have to get around as much. Simply use the same strategy, hug the wall, and go to the left, and you'll find a lot more success in the 3 block fence Neo than the 3 block Neo. It'll look something like this if you can get it done right. Just like that. Easy and clean once you get the hang of it. Trapdoor Neo, or in other words, Algebra Neo, as it's called sometimes, is quite difficult, but once you get the hang of it, it's a lot easier than the 3 block jump. And a bit easier than the 3 block fence jump as well. Simply you want to shift to the back left edge, jump to the top right, face as right as you can, and then pull a hard left to get back onto the blocks over there. Once done right, it'll look something like this. Just like that. After you get the hang of it, it's quite easy to pull off. You can do it many times in a row without failure if you use my strategy. You may run into things that look like this, often with 4 blocks, 3 blocks, or some rare cases 5 blocks. What you want to do here is you'll want to run, toggle sprint, jump several times, and then release last second. As you can see, I fly. It doesn't quite work for me, but you release last second so that you don't hit the edge of the block. You'll want to jump right here and then go straight to there. It's the same as Headhitters. It looks something like that, but with a lot more build up to it to gain extra reach. Ah, Headhitters, one of my personal favorites. There are 2 forms of Headhitters, as you can see. There's the ones with no spaces and the ones with spaces. I find the ones with no spaces are easier, as you can jump up and down again. These ones are a bit harder, but you can do them in rapid succession once you get the hang of it. You can either get them done like so, or you can jump last second and then jump into this area and then down back to here. You do the same thing here, except you can't jump up into this area. You have to simply just go through it like this. To do these, you shift to the back edge. Then you sprint, jump to the top, then go to the next block, and rinse and repeat. Once you get the hang of it, you can get a rhythm down so you can go straight through them, like so. I'll show you, but unfortunately I have fly on, so if I do it too fast, then I'll end up flying and I'll fail to show you the parkour. Try and show you what it would look like if I didn't have fly. It looks something like that. If you can keep that speed going throughout it, this speed, then you'd be just fine. 2-block head hitters. The only possible way you can do a 2-block head hitter is without the 2 blocks in the way to block you from getting to the next one. You use the same strategy as before. You just jump last second and then hold up, so you'll be able to make it to the next block, like so. Another Neo you might see rarely is this exact example. I've only ever seen it in one place, but it's quite hard, and it's good practice for learning parkour. What you want to do here is shift to the back, jump to the top, go around the bars, and then shift up the ladder like so. Just like that. Another fence related Neo is something like this. What you want to do for this exact type, which is very rare, shift to the back, jump to the top often corner, go around while hugging the wall, and then shift up the ladder or across it. As in this case, it'd be across. It looks something like this if you can do it right. Just like that. Now that we've reached the part of the video where I've shown you every single jump and how to do it, I'll now show you a map that I created so that I'd be able to incorporate all the jumps to show you how they'd properly be done. So let's get on with it. I sincerely hope my guide helped you learn parkour, as when I first started parkour, I really struggled with it. I hope by making this video I can prevent others from struggling on parkour like myself, and give some insight on how to successfully do parkour. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing. This video took me hours to make and give an explanation on how to do every jump, so it'd really mean a lot to me. Hitting the bell also will give you notifications of whenever I make a new video. Thanks for watching.